everybody. I had something come through my mind that I just want to share, like a quick little anecdote. And I will be telling a story that might be disturbing or upsetting or graphic for some people. So if you're really sensitive, then I'm just giving you a warning. First, I'm going to share the message, and then I'll share the story that inspired the message, and which is, kind of hard to hear, maybe for some people, are hard to imagine. So, viewer discretion is advised. But the message I wanted to share is, be aware of what you take for granted, and take this opportunity to be in awe of everything that you have, even if it's just simply your breath. That's kind of what I'm talking about, the simplest facet of existence, of what you have. The fact that if you feel free of pain in this moment, you feel free of pain, physical pain, emotional pain. You're breathing normally. Your legs work, your arms work, your sight works, your sense of touch works. Anything it is that you can connect to in this moment, and not everybody is able to experience all those things I just named. There are so many people who are without those things working for them. And I've lived moments in my life where some of those things I just named weren't working normally for me, but right now they are. And I just want to remind you to recognize what you do have right now and how much of a miracle it is. And I don't say this to encourage you to bypass your pain if you are in pain, or if you are discontent. Like, if you have a reason to, then it's probably valid, So what inspired me to say these words, and this is the part where it's kind of, gets hard to imagine if you're more sensitive. It made me cry when I saw this. But obviously I'm driving. I'm on my way back to my house, back to my mom's house. And there was an emergency transplant truck with its sirens on, blaring for everyone to get out of the way. And first of all, the way that society understands we all need to work together to move out of the way of this emergency vehicle, and the road parts like the Red Sea, that is something so beautiful and just heart-wrenchingly moving to me, because it shows how humans are wired to actually care for each other. And that's something that I think is easy to miss. It's very, very easy to miss in a world where disconnection is a normal thing. And the other thing is just the fact that this was an emergency transplant vehicle on its way, literally letting everybody on the road know that I am on a mission and I am saving somebody's life right now. I am rushing to someone's aid because I'm human and I am biologically designed to look out for people and to break the rules in order to get to the front of the line, aka running red lights, because that is what we've established in our society. When someone is injured or suffering or in pain or in a unfortunately compromised situation, our society is set up, not in every circumstance, but in this circumstance, it is set up so that these emergency services are able to rush in and get to the front of the line and help. And that is something that it makes me cry every time. I often cry, I often tear up when I hear sirens, because these are the things that I think about every single time I see like an emergency vehicle. To be honest, I don't feel that way as much when I see police cars, just because I've had so many bad experiences. I don't know if I've had so many bad experiences, but I did have a bad experience with the police when I was like 18 or something, and I was biking at night in my neighborhood where I used to live in Florida, and I lived in a beach town, and it was like a tourist town, and it was very safe, and like families with their babies would go on the beach where I lived at like 2 in the morning. And I was just riding, and I had my little hoodie on, and I was riding on the bike lane, and I didn't have headlights, and I learned then that it was illegal to ride your bike where I lived without, headlights. But I had been doing it for years, and I had moved from New York, where I don't think it's illegal, because I used to do that. I don't know, I just grew up biking all the time, and I never knew it was a law to have lights on your bike on the road, but it makes total sense. But this woman like interrogated me for no reason, and you could tell that she was just like I don't know, be like puffed up because she was required to, play this intimidating role for her job, even though I am not the kind of person that needs to be spoken to like that whatsoever. So I felt, my soft little heart was like so upset by that interaction, because like, why can't we have a kinder, softer, gentler interaction? Like, you are supposed to be a figure in society who makes me feel safe. You know what I mean? Like, I want to think of the image of a police as someone who evokes feelings of protection and safety, but I've not had that experience. There was another time where I was living, I'm almost done with my tangent. There was another time I was living in this like old hotel building that was turned into an apartment building, and there were like 10 rooms in it that different like students and people were renting out, and I was traveling and I needed like a temporary space, so I just stayed there for a month. But I had this neighbor who was, I don't know if diabolical is the word, but she was insane. Like, she was mentally very unstable, and one morning at 5 a.m. she was banging on my door and threatening me and screaming at me and breaking glass downstairs. So I called the cops because I was freaked out. Like, if this girl is throwing such a fit and breaking glass downstairs and making the entire building shake, like, what would she do to me? I don't know. Did she have a gun? Did she have a knife? It was freaky. So I called the cops, and I was whispering because I didn't want her to bang my door down and hear me and be even more provoked. And the cop was in a very like kind of rude tone. He was annoyed with me that I was whispering, and I'm like, bro, are you fucking serious right now? Pardon my French, but like, that is the last thing that I want to hear from a police officer who like is impatient with me for speaking at a volume where I'm trying to protect myself. So yeah, with police, honestly, I haven't had positive experiences, the majority, although I know that there are incredible officers out there. But anyway, going back to the main thing of this story, seeing this organ transplant, emergency vehicle, I was really feeling gratitude and awe, and almost like, why am I so lucky? Like, why am I here, and why is everything working fine? Just, yeah, feeling into how whoever was being saved, whoever was being helped, they could have been in a lot of pain. They could have had family members and loved ones who were scared for them. I have no idea what the situation is, and I could be projecting all of this, but just what went through my mind when I imagined what the survivor and even the emergency workers, must be going through, the adrenaline and this question and this pressure and this responsibility of, I'm saving someone's life. Someone's life is depending on me right now. you know, and to see this from the outside and to recognize that I'm not in any of those positions, it just overwhelms me with gratitude. And you know, to be honest, I don't really like that word so much because I have some not so nice associations with the word gratitude. I feel like it's used a lot as a form of bypassing. But when I say gratitude, I mean this felt recognition of awe and wonder at what I have, what I truly have, what a blessing this moment is for me right now, because I'm not in a worse situation. It just, you know, it just kind of, it's like cold water. It's like cold water in the heart. It's just a flash of just that realization, and I felt that, and I feel that every time I hear emergency vehicles, sirens, medical vehicles, particularly, and fire trucks. So I just wanted to share that with you. I hope this lands well. Hope it inspires you. We are blessed, you know, and it's like, even in the midst, like I'm going through a lot right now, you know what I mean? My life is not perfect all the time, and I'm not free from pain. I'm not free from, you know, struggles, challenges. But this is just one moment that I'm able to connect with this feeling of just fullness and awe of like what I have and what I'm full of. And that, I think that can become a practice, and it can carry through our lives when we're going through challenges, going through hard times. And yeah, we can invoke that feeling more and more, and, you know, rely on it when we need it most. So that's all I wanted to say. Yeah. And I'm just going to add a little bit of self-promo. If you're here up until this point and you want to learn more about me and what I offer, you can check the description and send me a message if anything is of interest to you. So I'll see you next time.